Good morning. It is Wednesday. I nearly forgot what day it was. Hello to everybody who's coming into the studio right now, in your own little living room, kitchen, hallway, whatever it is you're using. Welcome to the session. And today, as we have done so far really, is going to be your legs, power, and followed by Pilates core. And we have people ready and waiting, which is wonderful. Good morning to Lindsay, Diane, and Jenny. Jenny, I hope this helps your working day. The use of a bar or chair, hi Sarah, is going to be really useful. We're going to do a bar flow, which is really the bar and plank as said in the description. So bar plank means it's power, strength, and make sure that you breathe and get your core sorted. So it's a good morning to you people and great to see you. Good morning Wednesday is what we're here to say. A smile in place and a breathing pattern to connect your core. Good morning Ken too. And remember, we're using a chair in place of a bar or a work surface. The first part will be 20 minutes-ish, followed by a second part, as we've been doing, which will be your Pilates core, where we deal with your sides. You will only need a position of stability for the bar work, and you'll only need a head cushion for your floor work. Make sure that you're ready at the chair as I welcome more people in. It's a couple more minutes to go. I deliberately tune in a bit sooner because some people I know, because of their broadband width or whatever it's all about, means it's slightly slower. So I'm making sure I give people the best advantage to get going. I will bring myself in front of the camera once I've set up the other cameras. And in the meantime, hello Jane, good to see you back in the room. I suspect many of us are aiming to do, because it's such a short lockdown, do you realise that 3 weeks today we will open again? Yay! Here's hoping. All right, let's take ourselves ready. Find your place at a surface where you can support yourself with. For the purpose of filming, to make sure you get a clear view, I won't necessarily face this all the time. But you can, all you have to do is make sure that your camera is in front of you. So if you're here with a chair, just make sure your camera is forwards. We use the bar to keep us with a better symmetry and a core connection. While I'm waiting for everyone to come in and tune in, you go to your sensation of making the breathing muscles connect you into what would be a healthy realignment of your posture. Obviously, your heels are into the ground, the outsides of the feet are, your shoulders and collarbones are lovely and relaxed, and you're smiling. You're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, relax through the jawline, and get your first sense of centering with the breath out. Inhaling through the posture, and exhaling. To keep this relatively easy on the next breath out, gently soften at the knees, making sure you're no longer locked out, but you can still feel your heels. Keeping the lock out of the knee joint and keeping a softened knee. Pelvic position then, breath out and pelvic tilt. It's a tiny range of movement when you're standing. Inhale and return. I'm doing this moment, breathe out, follow the breath out, use your pelvic floor and get that micro tilting of the lumbar. Now, the more flattened you are, you'll have nowhere to go. It's more about you releasing that tucked under bottom to let the lordosis appear. Everyone, whatever position you've chosen, there's no pain. So if you're trying to correct something that doesn't quite work, if there's pain, it said it hasn't worked. From there then, we're going to take ourselves into the squat and back out. Keep your hand, fingers to the hip bone, that you can monitor the hinging of the joint. The arm that's on the chair or the work surface or the mantelpiece is bending at the elbow, because as your hips flex, your arm will flex. As you're inhaling, down you go, you're grounding through your heels and you're making the breath out a connection with the trunk stability. The chin's nodded in towards the throat, you're not creating that pokey chin. We know that when we're working with a kind of screen to follow, it's not always easy to find your alignment. You've got 2 more before we'll stay down there. My thighs are tight together, my arches are activated. I'm going to stay down this time. Going back to a breath, and I'm going to reach my free arm out sideways to help my upper back stability act, keeping one hand to the surface. Breathing in as a prep, and then exhaling, pelvic floor nails spine, command to get the pelvic tilt, no bum squeezing. Breathe into that lumbar imprint, and then breathing out, float, sitting bones away. 3 more times, breathe in. This is your prep for healthy postural corrective alignment, okay? Inhale. So you're breathing out on the pelvic tilt. You're keeping the maintain of the tilt on the breath in, and then you're breathing out to get yourself pelvis floating into its neutral curve. Last time, exhale, the pelvic floor draws up, and that innervates through the internal oblique and the trans. You get the lovely lengthening, stretchy, and you go back to neutral. Staying in neutral then, exhale, and we're going to deepen. When we use the foot bar at the studio, we've been doing the kind of lowering and lifting inhale and the lowering and lifting exhale with a reduced range of movement. Get the breath. You need to use your breath out. And if you feel nothing happening on the breath out, that's because you're not breathing deep enough and you're not breathing as a core stability sequence. People, the next time, stabilize, stay still, keep the shoulder blades drawn towards each other, and then on the next breath out, pick up your heels so you end up in tiptoes. Stay in your tiptoes, exhale to pelvic tilt and bring yourself into a straight back position and up you are onto your toes. Same principles now, inhaling, we're now flat back with heels raised, and exhaling. If you want to keep your hands here, as long as there's a square alignment through the shoulder of the pelvis, I don't mind where your hand is, it can be here, here or here. It's more that you breathe in and lower down and don't think only of the legs. Inhaling, down we go. Breathe out, draw up inside you, pelvic floor navel to spine. The assumption is that most people watching have done plenty of these online videos and understand the need for you to adhere to your core connection here, okay? So inhaling, down we go, exhaling. Inhaling to lower down. There's around 10 of every position that I'm working in. So we're going to stay down here this time, and we go back to that sense of pelvic connection. So your breath in is flaring the rib cage wide, exhale is pelvic curl, tilting using pelvic floor. Inhale and stay in that flexion, that lower back imprint. Exhale and feel the tailbone and the sit bones going away without using your back extensors. Breathe out, zip up and hollow, drawing that pelvic floor between the hip bones as it were. Inhale, exhaling. If you're doing this accurately, the muscles that lead to your knee joint, internal knee, start to work quite hard, not the joint itself, but the muscles that stabilize the joint, and that's the purpose of the moment. Okay, stay in your perfect neutral. Are you ready to go? Deepening. So this is the lower and lift. If you want to reach an arm out, you can. If you want to reach your arm forward, you can. But what you can't choose to not do is the breath. The common issue here is not allowing the rib cage to constantly place itself, giving your upper spine the feedback, along with the top end oblique abs, the relationship to core stability whilst limbs are taking their hit time. Okay, people, and exhale, deepen, push all the way up to tiptoes, and you should have woken up your quads. We're going straight to turn out, the plie. A quick revision here. Your turn out needs to be feet in the same place that the thighs will go. Find your squat plie, keep the arches active, spread the toes, keep the load outside of the feet. We're going to do the squat down and the pulling the thighs back to stand. The hinge, inhaling, hinge that bum back, exhale, and up you come. If you're flat back, you definitely need to possibly have your hand behind the sacrum, making sure that as you go down, you're not simply tucking under. This sitting of the hip bones back, the breath out, pressing through the outside of the feet, and the zipping up inside the thighs. Inhale, down you go. Exhale, follow the breath, and as in the other exercises, if your breath out isn't causing this rib cage to contract through the oblique, then you're using the leg workout as though you were in the gym. There's no point doing these muscle workouts if we're not getting core connection. Pilates is a rehab of the tiny muscles that don't naturally act. So you might feel you're strong, but if you're doing this activity without the core trunk stability, it's wrong. Stay down here, everyone. Revisit that whole keeping your shoulder blades together, nod the chin in. And we deepen. Don't grip your bum muscles. Your hollowed abdominal area and your constant ribcage placement need to be active. And then the glute side abductor muscles, these, do what they should do. The other thing here is to feel as though the thighs are pulling out and out. If you had a spring, you'd be springing out and out, using the side bottom, which is your glute med, keeping your shoulder blades together. Stay. Don't grip the bottom. Breath out then, ribs and pelvic tilt. Inhale, hold that shape. Breathe out from the rib cage and release the pelvis back to neutral. So the breath out is your pelvic floor to pelvic imprint. The hip bones are curled back. Breathing in and then breathing out, rediscovering neutral, which amplifies the connection to the hams. Breath out then finally, pelvic tilt. Breathe in and stay. Breathing out and pelvic neutral. Okay people, the next time you can hold onto the bar, pick up your heels so you end up in tiptoes and find yourself upright. I'll come back to face the screen. You're now doing exactly the same plie leg positioning, but with the trunk in straight back. Straight back simply means not flat back. It means that you've sat up straight and your tailbone comes down in the direction of the heels and you're not tucked under. Inhaling down we go and drawing up on pelvic floor. You'll feel the bikini area if you wear one, no. You'll feel the bikini area if you draw the pelvic floor up as you draw the inner thighs tight together to close. And again, just resist the whole pulling any of your bum cheeks. You don't want to pull your bum cheeks in. Adductors, yes. Pelvic floor, and then some general side bum area rather than that clenching and squeezing. That's not a cue really that should work as you get into true Pilates. All right, go down and stay. In this downwards phase, check both thigh bones are level. You're going to go pelvic tilt, but put your hand on your rib cage. Breathe in. As your ribs repair and replace, pelvic tilt. Inhale, stay, the ribs stay down, compressed. Exhale and allow the pelvis to move. Inhaling. Exhale, keep the heels squeezed, ribs come down, you can feel them under your hand. You pelvic tilt, feeling equality and symmetry. Breathe in and breathe out and away you go. Everything else is lovely and released. Exhaling, methodical, pelvic floor and pelvic tilt without the bum squeeze. Breathe into the rib cage, breathe out and find yourself back into your neutral. We're now going to invite the deep quad that leads to the knee joint to work hard. And when this is done properly, it's a rehab for knee strength, avoiding continuous deterioration which comes through wear and tear, because we're human beings who are on our legs and we're into our older life, aren't we? This is all appropriate so long as it's all totally musculoskeletal and not within the joint. You've got to keep your heels squeezing. Remember, if your hips have already got that deterioration, you might find yourself back into parallel. Never ever work in rotation if it's just jamming your hip. All right, people, stay all the way down and push all the way up and lower your heels down. That was your bar part one. You're now going to go into an all fours position. Find your squat, have a breath in, breathe out, and if it's comfortable for you to roll the spine down without it affecting your lower back, roll down but then bend your legs further down. Bring yourself to the other end of the mat. Using the straight edge at the end of your mat, spread your fingers. Look at where your knees are and tuck your toes under your feet. You're breathing in and out. We've got all fours hovers. This is called Barre Plank. So this is the start of learning plank properly. So exhale, up you go, into knee hovers. Inhale, pull down. So rather than take you straight to plank, I'm priming the trunk stability system with the breath muscles. So your breath brings the ribs and ribs. If you're doing this as I asked for it and designed it, then every breath out is a felt sensation of the obliques firing up. You can let your head hang a bit if it helps you to get a better feel of your rib cage. Remember, the breath out has to exist, and then you feel the placement of the ribs as the exhale continues, and you can use that for stability. 2 more. Last time. And back. Push your bottom back fractionally, take your hands back to your knees, and then you're ready to push back to your feet, and if you can roll up without any intrusive awareness of the lower back, do so. We come back to the bar where we end up with our split lunge. Step the leg back. I'm keeping my left leg forwards and my right leg back into the straight line. We did some of this yesterday. This time though, it's all about the symmetry and sustaining a connection with the side bottom. First thing to do is crouch back, make any shift you need to, and then forwards. Inhaling, backwards hinge, breath out, forwards. I'm going to let my right arm go out so that I'm asking for more stability, or left arm out. Right arm out, left arm out. In doing that, you get a bigger inclusion, I think, of more of the abductors. Inhaling and exhaling. I'm going to stay down here this time, and then as I breathe out, I'm going to keep both hands wide and pull forwards and lift the back leg up. I'm going to crouch back down, pull forwards and lift the back leg up. You're now moving with the front leg, as we did yesterday, getting your hamstring, glute, and a little bit more spring, resisting twist. When you go backwards, feel everything flex. Flex is a bend at the hip. There's no rounding of the spine or the upper back. And then the next time you come forward, stay. You're now going to let the heel go to the bottom. So you've gone from straight leg, my chest is over in the direction of the chair, and it's a hamstring curl and hamstring, heel to the bum and. The stability of the front leg, quite demanding. If you wanted to add more stability, you take your left arm out whilst working through the hamstring curl on the right leg. 2 more. The next time that right heel is to the bottom, stay. Put both hands back in place and then crouch, both knees are together and extend. So you sit back into your heel and you reach. Both thighs are together, left leg straightens, right leg stays bent. Now the left leg knows all about hamstring to glute connect, pelvis stabilization, and the pelvic position is neutral, okay? Next time is the last time. Stay, pull the leg back, and up you come. Ready for your other side. I'm going to have myself facing you so you get more awareness. Find your squat, reach the leg away, arm bent. So we've got a split squat position, front leg in a squat shape. You sit back and forwards. Inhale, hinge, lunge. And very much as yesterday was, the ability to keep the load driven through the right heel to bottom area, nothing through the neckline of the hip. It's an inhale, lowering. The back leg is the light leg. Inhale, lower, and exhale, push. You're sliding with symmetry backwards and pulling the ground under you as you come forwards. Staying there then, breathe. Exhaling, push the leg up and inhaling back. So now you've got your diagonal reach. Inhale, pull backwards. You know what, I do so many versions of this. I sometimes in the midst of moving think, did I choose this position particularly, or have I bypassed something? Anyway, whichever way, same muscle group is targeted, and it's about the back leg reaching. Yep, so as your back leg reaches, you're getting that kind of increased demand on the left side bottom, sorry, right side bottom. Okay, people, stay here. hamstring curl. This is where the front leg is still bent, the hip feels the stability from the sides, the left leg, hamstring curl, it feels relatively innocuous, that left leg that's moving, but it's demanding. Resist, twist, you can be facing the bar, remember, and then are you ready? Both thighs together, exhale and push, and I need the bar for this, to get this accurate. So symmetry, inhale, crouch back, and breath out and push. If you've got your face to the bar, you can keep your left hand down and your right leg active and your right arm out if it helps. Inhale, crouch back, exhale, push the ground away, breathe in, breathe out. This is really demanding but incredibly brilliant for the leg stability to pelvis. Breathe. 2 more, we're really there. 1 more. Press the ground away, breathe, and all the way back. Okay, you need to work this effort out of the hamstring glutes, so find your squat, breathe in, relax through the upper body, bend over the breast. Have your knuckles to the floor, legs most certainly bent, head looking behind, lower back not tucked under, and to give a little bit of a tuggy stretch. The thing that goes wrong with people straightening their legs is that you take them too straight, that you don't use your pelvic core connection. You've got to tune into the feel of the hamstring lengthening rather than the back moving and bending. All right, that's your hamstrings given a little bit of a reprieve. Bring yourself back to all fours, where we're going to find our plank, plank, all fours. Breathe in. Chest between the thumbs, fingers, breathe. Exhale, strong shoulders away from the neck, plant the foot, breathe in. Plant your second leg. Inhaling, breathe out and come back under and under. Inhale, exhale, left, right, inhale, exhale, right, left, inhale, exhale, out and out, breathe in, breathe out, come in and in, breathe, go away and away. Remember what I've been saying, that if you don't with the breath out, sense and know that your rib cage connected through the abdominal wall, then you won't get what you need from this movement pattern. You take it out and out. You breathe in. You come back and back. Taking it away. Breathe in. Pulling it back and back. Breathing out. Shrink hollow. Reach the legs strong armpits. Other leg, breathe, coming back and back. You have 1 more, keep strong. We go out, breathe, come in, and crouch down. Breathe in and out to take anything away from where it shouldn't have gone. And once again, you're going to come back to stand. You now got the curtsy version, it's nearly over, this is the final leg work. Curtsy version of the lunge is horrible. Find your curtsy. I'm going to take the leg nearest the bar because I'm facing you backwards. Stand a bit further away, so I'm on my mat. So you crouch, this is in turn out and reach. So as you come backwards, hinging, remember that the thighs have to be in the same degrees of rotation as your feet. Your arch has to be activated and the ankle can't roll in on either leg. Both thigh bones are rotated out, and we know, don't we, that if your hips are relatively deteriorated through wear, tear, and you're awaiting surgery or intervention, or it's just painful, then go back to parallel. Now that you're down there, stay. Exhaling then, you're going to push and extend that back leg. Inhale, exhale, push and reach the back leg away. If you're getting right into your side glute area, then you're doing everything as you should. You can put your hands to the back of the sacrum lumbar area to get more support, feedback for maintaining symmetry from left to right. The next time you come up, you're going to stay. Now you're going to reach further back and pull up. So I'm dipping further back and pulling the ground away. Exhale, pull the body forwards. Inhaling, and it's your left leg. The back leg does nothing. You're wanting to slide back and draw forwards, pull the posture backwards, pull forwards. Last two. Everything with symmetry, and pull everything in. Welcome to your bottoms and into your plie. Final side. Now, if you were facing here, you'd have your hands on the bars. So the final side, find yourself hinged back, turn out, and take the back leg there. And we're going down and up. As you hinge back, keep the load through the front leg. Ask the thigh to turn out. Hinging at the hip without the bum tucking under, remember. And if you keep the effort into the breath muscles, it will lead you into it being a trunk stability rather than constant limb loading. Inhaling back we go, breath out, reach. Inhaling back and reach. Now back we go and lift up. Inhaling and push, as though it's single leg. So the drawing in, slight crouch and lift. And you can then take it to the lift and lift, or you can keep the bend. The emphasis is completely in the right leg, which is my front leg. The knee doesn't want to travel too forwards of the foot, the toes. You've still got to honour the principles. Are you ready? And now we go further back and pull up. Inhale and inhaling, down you go. Exhale, reach up. You're keeping your diagonal line and ideally keeping the rotation into both legs. Don't have the tension in the neck, which will suggest you've forgotten your core. Last two. Reach and deepen backwards. Last one. And bring yourself up. Okay, final activation. Everyone, you're going to start with your plank position. Final exercise, breathe. So you've got your crouch, knee tap, and pull. Exhale, inhale. Exhaling, shrink the tongue. Inhaling, keep the ribs. Don't worry if your head's slightly down, as long as you haven't rounded your upper spine. It's as though you're gliding your back across the ceiling, pulling it forwards. Breathe and breathe. Inhale. If you're really tired, reduce the range, and that can also work for you, okay? 3 more. Pelvis stays level. The breathing command of the ribs. The hip flexing, not the lower back bending. Last moment. And lower the knees down. And release everything. Reach your arms forwards. Let your bottom go back to your heels. And lengthen trunk muscles away. Okay, people? That's part 1 done. You should feel hot. I'm out of breath, but I suppose I am talking as well. But I certainly feel warmth and I feel leg activation with trunk stability. Stay tuned if you want the next activity. It'll be part 2 and another 20-minute moment. It's a goodbye from me.